When we talk about Formula 1, we usually think about what happens on track, lap times, championships, and rivalries fought at 300 km per hour. But today, that battle doesn't stop at the circuit anymore. F1 teams are now fighting on the road as well, using hypercars as a showcase of their technology, philosophy, and engineering dominance. This isn't actually new. Enzo Ferrari famously raced cars in Formula 1 and sold road cars so he could keep racing. What we are seeing today is a modern version of the same mindset. These hypercars are not just status symbols, they are rolling tech demonstrations, proof of what each team can do when the rules are pushed to the absolute limit. When you think of Red Bull, your mind immediately goes to Formula 1. Split-second strategy, groundbreaking aerodynamics, insane acceleration, and those unforgettable engine notes. But what if I told you Red Bull built something even crazier that you can actually drive yourself outside a Grand Prix weekend? This is the Red Bull RB17. The RB17 isn't just another hypercar. It's rocking a 4.5-liter naturally aspirated V10 engine that redlines at an astonishing 15,000 RPM. That's right, an actual V10, screaming at 15,000 RPM, right at your fingertips. This beast weighs less than 900 kilos, produces over 1,200 horsepower, and rockets towards speeds 350 kilometers per hour. But here is the kicker. It's not some one-off race car locked in a museum. It's a track-only hypercar built in a limited run of just 50 units and designed so that lucky owners can actually drive the hell out of it. What makes the RB17 truly special isn't just the power or the crazy rave ceiling, it's the heritage behind it. This machine was also designed by Adrian Newey and the Red Bull Advanced Technologies and takes 2 decades of Formula 1 innovation straight onto the tarmac. It's the closest you can get to piloting an F1 car, but with a roof and a seat for a friend next to you. Let's get something straight from the jump. Ferrari calls the F80 a supercar in their official announcement. But come on. With 1,200 horsepower, hybrid powertrain tech straight from Le Mans prototypes, and aerodynamics that generate more downforce than most track cars, that is not a supercar by today's standards. That's a hypercar, plain and simple. Supercars today are like Porsche 911 GT3 RS level machine. The F80, it sits way above that league. Ferrari unveiled the F80 as the next flagship from Maranello, a limited run of just 799 units. That's supposed to sit alongside legends like the GTO, F40 and LaFerrari in history. It's the most powerful road car ever to come out of Ferrari's factory, mixing cutting-edge hybrid systems with outright performance. At its heart lies a 3-liter twin-turbo V6 engine, making around 900 horsepower with 3 electric motors adding another 300 horsepower, for a combined output of 1,200 horsepower. Acceleration to 100 km per hour happens in about 2.15 seconds, and it doesn't stop climbing until we pass 350 km per hour. Now let's talk honestly. I get why Ferrari went with a V6 hybrid instead of a screaming V12. The tech is insane and probably necessary for a modern top-end performance, while still cutting weight and emissions. But if you ask me, hearing one of those flagship cars burble with a V12 symphony instead of a hybrid V6 would have been poetic. That visceral sound is part of what makes Ferrari's icons legendary, and that's something I miss just a little here. But make no mistake, speed, power, grip, aero, this thing is a hypercar through and through. Design-wise, it's extreme, with aero solutions that pull ground effect and active elements that make it stick to the road like glue. And that silhouette, it's brutal yet refined, like a predator waiting on a track. So yeah, Ferrari might call it a supercar, but when you take the performance, the tech, the pedigree, and the sheer presence together, the F80 isn't just another Ferrari supercar, it's a full-blown next-generation hypercar. And trust me, on the right road and track, it delivers an experience that's unforgettable. Just like the Ferrari F80, McLaren also calls the W1 a supercar. But let's not get stuck on terminology again. I'll say it once and move on. This also is not a supercar. This is a hypercar. The numbers, the tech, the intent, everything about the W1 puts it way beyond the traditional supercar definition. The W1 sits at the very top of McLaren's lineup, positioned as the successor to the legends like the F1 and P1. It's a no-compromise machine, built around extreme performance, cutting-edge aerodynamics, and Formula 1-inspired engineering. Power comes from a 4-liter twin-turbo V8 hybrid system, producing a combined output of around 1,250 horsepower. That's paired with an advanced lightweight structure and McLaren's obsession with weight reduction, because for them, power alone is never enough without control. Acceleration is violent, grip is relentless, and the aero package is on another level. Active aerodynamics, ground effect philosophy, and race-derived solutions mean this thing doesn't just go fast in a straight line. It sticks to the road like a prototype when pushed hard. What I love about the W1 is that it feels very McLaren. It's not about luxury or drama, it's about precision, balance, and performance efficiency. It's a hypercar designed by engineers who obsess over lap times, airflow, and driver connection. Quick and simple, the McLaren W1 is a full-blooded hypercar, built to push boundaries, not labels. And in the modern era of performance cars, it absolutely deserves to stand shoulder to shoulder with the very best. This one is very special, the Aston Martin Valkyrie. This isn't just a hypercar, it literally created its own category. And the huge reason for that is Adrian Newey. Yes, that Adrian Newey. The aero concept of the Valkyrie is also his work. Pure Formula 1 thinking applied to a road car. Every tunnel, every surface is shaped around airflow and downforce. On top of that extreme aero foundation, Aston Martin's own design team stepped in and stylized those brutal aerodynamic surfaces into something that still looks unmistakably Aston. Functional first, beautiful second, but somehow it manages to be both. Power comes from a naturally aspirated 6.5-liter V12 developed with Cosworth paired with a hybrid system. High-revving, visceral, and emotional, exactly what you expect from a flagship hypercar like this. And then there's the Valkyrie AMR Pro, the track-only monster. No road rules, even more aggressive aero, and insane grip levels. The Valkyrie platform has even gone racing, competing in WEC and 24 Hours of Le Mans, proving that this isn't just a showpiece, it's a genuine performance weapon. The bottom line, the Valkyrie doesn't follow definitions, it rewrote them. Now this last one is a little different. The Mercedes-AMG ONE isn't inspired by Formula 1. It's built from it. This is as close as you can get to driving an actual F1 powertrain on public roads. At the heart of the AMG ONE sits a 1.6-liter turbocharged V6, directly derived from the 2017 Mercedes-AMG Petronas Formula 1 car, combined with 4 electric motors. The result? Over 1000 horsepower, instant response, and a power delivery that feels nothing like a traditional road car. It's raw, technical, and motorsport driven. But the magic isn't just in the engine. The active aerodynamics are pure racetrack, adjustable front elements, a multi-stage rear wing, active diffuser, all working together to adapt the car for the road, or transform it into a full-on track weapon. What I really respect about the AMG ONE, Mercedes didn't try to soften Formula 1 for the street. They accepted the challenge of making F1-based car road legal, noise, emissions, drivability and all, and actually pulled it off. Inside it's the same story, a Formula 1 style steering wheel, fixed racing seats, and a cockpit that's completely focused on the driver. No luxury distractions, just purpose. So the Mercedes-AMG ONE isn't just another hypercar. It's Formula 1 engineering, translated almost one-to-one for the road, and that alone puts it in a category where few cars will ever touch. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into F1's road-going battlefield, don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.